Hello, my lovely as well. I just had to do this video in response to Paddy Conroy's shameful trying to trash that victim of shadow boxer the other day that he did during the live. Absolutely shameful. Remember, this is a 64-year-old man who's picking on a young woman. But let's get straight into it. I want to pull out certain things he said to prove one thing mainly. When he's claiming continually he's unbiased, he is far from being unbiased.
He's getting the transcripts from the court and whatnot.
Well, why hasn't Paddy already seen the court papers? They've been out there in the public domain since the case happened. Because he didn't care what the court papers said. He didn't care. His whole mission is to clear Shadow and make out that he's the victim of a fame-hungry woman. That's what it is, who lied about him. And he says he's going on this, she says, he says, that you can't say that either side is right or wrong. Which I'll show in this video, that is a complete and utter lie. He is 100% saying that she is a liar and she made all this up. But I think we can all work that out, that that's what he's doing. But why would he be doing that? Simply, if you look at Paddy's viewing figures, since he got together with Shadow, and Shadow starts advising Paddy to do lives, to do panels and all this, Paddy's viewing figures have tripled, quadrupled easily from what they were. So he sees Shadow as being the way to success, that if Shadow keeps on advising him and keeps on coming on his show, that he's going to be the famous ex-gangster that he's always wanted to be. That's what he's going for. So this is all, he needs Shadow. And the only thing that's getting in his way or causing him problems is this conviction Shadow has. So it's within Paddy's own selfish interest to trash the victim and accuse her of being a liar so that he can carry on associating with Shadow Boxer.
See, you know Sammy Lee, that lass on YouTube who humbles trolls. She's on par like her.
Now this is going to put Emma Cockrell, Brian Cockrell's sudden best new Wendy, in a predicament, because several times Paddy keeps on mentioning Sammy Lee, and it's not in a good light he mentions her, because what he's saying, what he's accusing Shadowboxer's victim of being, is a liar, because she writes horror scripts, she's an actress, she's in films. And so he's comparing her to Sammy Lee. Well, if that makes this victim of Shadowboxer automatically a liar, and she was making it up to further a career, a film career, the same he's saying is true of Sammy Lee. And don't forget, Sammy Lee, she's been public about it, has spoken about her own experiences of assault. And it has been levied at her in the past. Well, you're only doing this to get your career off the ground. Now, let's wait and see if Emma comes to Sammy's defence. I tell you, she won't. She won't. Don't hold your breath, Sammy. But that's what he's doing. For some reason, being a scriptwriter, if a woman is violated because she's a scriptwriter or an actress, that brings the whole word into doubt. Look, let's make one thing clear about this man. This 64-year-old criminal, which he is. He's a criminal, lifelong criminal. He's not going to have sympathy with any woman that's been violated. He'll be of the mindset which used to be around years ago. Don't forget, I'm not much younger than him. And I remember it. Women were always blamed if they were violated. Oh, she must have done something. She did something to attract him.
And before Shadow got arrested, she went and reported it straight away. But before Shadow got arrested, she started to write a film script on what he was doing in fucking Shadow's house.
Now, this is interesting because anyone with the brain cell of an amoeba could work out that that can't be true. She fled from the house, from Shadow's parents' house, and reports it immediately. But what Paddy wants you to believe is that somehow, when she was running to the police station on a mobile phone, she was writing a script about what had happened, so she could make a film out of it. Now, why isn't Paddy, who reckons he's so intelligent and so bright, though his mouth, the way he can't get a sentence out without cursing, indicates the other that he's not bright, he's very dull in the brain. How hasn't he seen that? Because he doesn't want to see it. His whole mission is to vilify her as a liar and to make Shadow appear an innocent, good Catholic boy. Good Catholic boy. Honest to God, it would be comical if it wasn't so serious doing that to a woman.
But Shadow, who's not in the BDSM.
So what does Paddy think Shadow Boxer is doing here with the snooker cue? This is a clip from the video in Thailand that Paddy refuses to acknowledge or watch. Why? Because it totally trashes his claim that Shadow Boxer has not got a course of conduct of abusing women. That's why he won't watch it, because if it goes against Shadow, he doesn't want to know.
Proved in court that she is into BDSM.
But yet Paddy claims he's never seen or read the court documents. So how does he know it was said in there? Because anything that Shadow Boxer tells him, Paddy's going to believe. Because monetarily, and the success of his channel depends on Shadow Boxer being accepted by everyone as an innocent man. That's why.
Where to he say, she say, you shouldn't believe either of them.
Now this is the trick that Paddy plays. He tries to make out he's being level-headed. He says, she says, so you can't believe either of them. But there's a problem with that. It's obvious when you watch it. He's out to defame her, to classify her as a liar, someone out to get fame. That's what he's painting. And you'll hear, I'll pull out other things, it says, where it's obvious he's decided her guilt before he's seen any evidence. So this, trying to make out that he's rational, it's just all bullcrap. He's not.
Shadow's going on trial on my YouTube account.
And does anyone believe that's going to be a fair trial? I can assure you people, if Paddy Conroy was a judge or he was a police officer, he'd be corrupt. There's no doubt about it. He'd be making up evidence against people. He'd be framing people. That's obvious. You can see it in this. He's stacking everything against that victim without the proof he's demanding that people provide against Shadow Boxer. And then he refuses to see evidence that it's a course of conduct by not looking at the video or addressing the video in Thailand. But yet he's stacking up everything against her. And is he showing you proof that she is a film writer or any of these things? He's saying, no, he hasn't. So that will be an interesting trial, won't it?
Both lots of characters. On both sides you do. You cannot just look at one side.
Which is exactly what Paddy does. He doesn't look at any evidence, as say the video evidence of Shadow Boxer. So he's coming out with all these trying to make himself sound rational. But the fact is, he's breaking his own rules.
All the things I tell him not to do, he's going to do now.
Now what he's referring to there is he's told, apparently, by his own admission there, Shadow Boxer, never to produce any evidence that might cast him in a light of being guilty. What have I just been saying? He won't look at the video evidence. He's never looked at the paperwork. Why? Because he doesn't think that's necessary. His one mission is to have Shadow Boxer on board so Paddy can still use him to grow his channel.
So that just nobody even knows her. Doesn't nobody even knows her background.
But yeah, Paddy seems to know a lot about her background. She's a filmmaker. She's an actress. She managed to write a script on a phone as she was running to the police on the same day that she escaped Shadowbox's parents' house. But yet now we say nobody knows anything about it. Go figure.
Fucking horror film scriptwriter. Fucking, I think it really is relevant to what's went on here.
See, a few seconds later, he's saying that he knows she's a film writer. Now, why would that be relevant? So what he's saying is that if a woman is a horror script film writer, that means every time a woman in that position says she's been violated by a man, she's a liar. Automatically a liar. And that's why I'm saying, when he's making out he's being fair and not believing either side, no, he's painting her as the liar without any evidence at all. And that's why I'm annoyed with him mentioning Sammy Lee's name. Because if it's true with this person, Shadowbox's victim, it's going to be true of Sammy Lee. And that's why I was annoyed when he started.
Shadow's going to go away after Thursday and get the transcripts from the court to prove everything I've just said.
That's a curious thing to say. Just listen to this one section of that again.
To prove everything I've just said.
So what it is, again, he hasn't even seen this evidence. He can't have seen this evidence. So he's blatantly running his mouth off here in the hope that Shadowboxer will come up with this evidence to prove that what Paddy is saying is right. Only an idiot would put their own reputation on the line like that before they've seen the evidence. I mean, wouldn't you say to Shadow, show me it now? I've had people come to me saying things and I've always said to them in private, well, show me the evidence before I go out and start running my mouth off. So this shows you this is just to destroy the victim, destroy her at any cost. Why? Because he wants the coin. He wants the coin and he sees Shadowboxer as being the way to get the coin.
That's what I said to Shaddy. He shouldn't have been fucking guilty.
Again, does that sound like he's being fair and open-minded? Remember, I stress again, he's never actually bothered looking at the court transcripts, even though they're out there, or the video evidence. But yeah, he can make that statement.
Shadow's not making had this woman arrested and put in fucking jail for now. She's done it to him.
There we go. So is he being fair-minded? He's saying outright there, Shadowboxer is innocent. He never did anything. As I say, he's never seen any court papers.
So the fact that Shadow writes scripts too doesn't really come into it.
Oh, it does, Paddy, because according to your philosophy, writing scripts means that someone can be automatically condemned as a liar, trying to make themselves famous by making up lies. Well, that also means that if Shadow's writing scripts, he must be a liar as well. So you can't trust what he's saying about the paperwork, which you idiot, are agreeing that everything he's saying is true before you even see it.
So the victim is to blame. No, what I'm saying is it's a he say, she say situation.
I don't know whether I'm expecting to come across a hookah smoking caterpillar sitting on a toadstool asking me, who are you? But have I gone into an alternative dimension here? Because he is blaming her outright. It's obvious he is. But yeah, keeps on making out that he's balance-minded. I don't think so.
All he is out there. If you've got any evidence to prove otherwise, that it's not a he say, she say situation, get the evidence.
This is the irony of this fella, right? He's accusing other people of being tinfoil hats. In other words, conspiracy theorists. When he's the one coming up with the conspiracy saying that Shadow was wrongly convicted and this was all a setup. And he goes on, show him the evidence. He's not interested in the evidence. I've told him where he can see the video. Other people have told him where he can see the video. Other people have told him where he can find the court transcripts. He's never one bit been interested. As you heard before, which I played the clip off, he was telling Shadow not to produce anything like that. So he's not interested in seeing any evidence. He's made his mind up. He's going to run with the narrative he couldn't care less about any female victim of any man. He couldn't care.
True though. It's just I'm gonna find out.
I'll stress again, he hasn't seen this paperwork. You couldn't make it up, could you?
Now Sammy Lee, she's a similar person to Sammy Lee.
Why bring Sammy Lee into this? It's got nothing to do with Sammy Lee. Sammy, if you're listening, sweetheart, if you ever want to do a live with me addressing this situation, feel free. If you don't want to, fair play. But the offer is there.
They probably fucking got sex scenes in these horror films.
Do you see what I mean about what a vile, horrible person he is? So if an actress is in a film and it has a sex scene in it, which he's got no evidence of, there's no evidence she's even writing these scripts. There's no evidence of sex scenes. He's making this up, supposing there could be. But even if there is, that doesn't excuse a man abusing a woman, an actress like that. He's just vile. He is a vile, he's your standard old school misogynist.
Coming up with hypothetical shit.
Said a few seconds after he's just come up with the hypothetical situation that these horror films have sex scenes in them.
And so he says, she says situation, you don't believe either of them.
I don't know whose philosophy that is, but it isn't his, because it's obvious he's casting her as a liar. There's no doubt about it.
Shadow's got one.
But do we know that, as Shadowboxer ever produced his Irish version of a Saw Acro? No. Which Paddy Conroy is always screaming for everyone else to produce, but you'll see Paddy is the Jeremy Kyle of lie detector test. Suddenly doesn't want Shadowboxer taking a polygraph test. Interesting. Wait until we get to that one.
He's been fucking set up all right. Fucking scriptwriter. Horror film scriptwriter.
From the man who's been telling you that you should never take either side, you should not believe either the victim or Shadowboxer. And there he is, saying it's a setup.
Well, Shadow's going to fetch the court documents. The real court documents.
The real court documents? Well, wait a minute. We know the real court documents are already out there. They've been out there for a long time, and Shadowboxer has never once said that they were altered or falsified in any way. So what is this real version that Shadowboxer's going to be coming forward with? I've got a funny feeling he's going to be coming along with a doctored set of papers, because they're already out there. And this is another interesting fact. Remember how with other people he always insisted on having the paperwork sent through to him through a solicitor so it could be guaranteed it was genuine and not played with? Why isn't he insisting on that with Shadowboxer?
Why didn't I ask Shadow to take a lie detector test? You know why? Because I wouldn't take it one me fucking self. Some people aren't allowed to take lie detector tests, and that's people who suffer. Some people who suffer PDSM. And I've said from day one with Shadow, I think he suffers PTSD.
Now that shocked me. I mean, this is the fella that's always screaming lie detector test, isn't he? But yet now he supposes, he doesn't know that Shadowboxer has conveniently developed PTSD, and so that means he can't take a polygraph test. That's very convenient, isn't it? He's got no evidence he's got it, but you see, this is he's not one bit interested in any evidence against Shadowboxer. He just wants to trash the victim. What a heroic knightly man this is, that he goes in and attacks a woman like that. What an honourable man. But I'm a surprise now, because the way he talks in front of women is disgusting. As I've said, he's not much older than me, only a few years older than me. And I remember the days when if a man spoke the way he does in front of a woman with those vile, disgusting words, he'd be condemned outright. But that's the metal of what this kind of man is. He doesn't have any respect for women.
And it's a he say, she say situation. I didn't believe either side.
Liar.
That's right. Why aren't they getting onto her? Why isn't her side coming forward? That's what I said to Shada. He should dig up her fucking past.
So there we are. He's saying he's the one telling Shadow to do all this. Get the date on it, as much date as he can get on it. This is fair-minded Paddy, who won't believe either side. But I'll say this to Shadow, if you listen to this, be very careful if Paddy's telling you to do that, cause trouble for her. Come up with all kinds of date campaigns against her. Because she has been classified by a court, a judge and a jury of being a victim of yours. And if then you're going round throwing up a date campaign, you can be done for harassment and stalking online. Just remember that, so be careful about following the orders that Paddy gives you, because at the end of the day, he's just interested in getting money, using you to get money and build his channel. If you're throwing into prison, his interest in you will last a week, and that's how long it will last, until he can find someone else that can get him Wonga into his bank.
And then when they've took her computer, they've found she's writing the script already.
Oh, well, I thought that when he said she was writing this script before she even got to the police, even though she got to the police on the same day she escaped his parents' house, Shadowbox's parents' house, that she was writing the script on her phone. Good God, I didn't know she was running around with a PC writing it. He hasn't thought this through, has he? He hasn't thought this through. He's just trying to get everything to fit the narrative. And when people do that, it shows up that the evidence is all concocted.
He's going to come out and give a hand, fix up the cottage.
Oh, Emma, there's your chance. There's your chance, Emma. Get in there, love, because you know you want to.
I think yous lot should think exactly the same as me.
No thanks, Paddy. We've moved on from the days when women were automatically blamed when they were violated by a man.
And you can't condemn either side if you didn't believe either side. That's my philosophy.
My God, it's either tragic or comical when you can't even follow your own philosophy.
And I don't know how he got found guilty, to be honest.
Couple of seconds on, again he proves he doesn't follow his own philosophy.
There's been plenty of women over the years who've later admitted they were telling lies about fucking men.
As I said the other day when Emma Cockrell was using that excuse as well, that somehow women tell lies, that does not mean that you cast out on every single woman.
She's planned this, man, I think, just to write the story.
Someone please tell me who supports Paddy Conroy and what he's saying about Shadowboxer, how that statement is saying that he is not saying that either side is guilty or innocent.
I'm destroying my channel. I'm not destroying my fucking channel. That was shot anyway.
But what you are destroying is destroying any chance of a mainstream publisher taking up your book, or any film production company taking up your life story, because in the modern world, casting doubt on a woman like you are, that a court and juries decided was a violated victim, it's going to get you cancelled.
Even fucking unloved fucking Anne is doing a bit of trolling in the way she does of Dancing Queen.
Ew, my God. Dancing Queen, you mean Kipper Minge Maud? Oh yeah, she's well known in Liverpool, this Kipper Minge Maud. She even invited me out for a coffee to meet up with her, and I thought, I don't think so. You know, so she could go around boasting that she had a toy boy. I don't think so, darling.
I think Shara suffers, same as what I suffer, post-traumatic stress disorder.
No, you don't, Paddy. You don't have PTSD. I can guarantee that you've never been diagnosed with PTSD. It just sounds trendy to say it. And even if you did, It's only karma coming back to visit you for the post-traumatic stress disorder you've no doubt caused to your victims in the past who you bullied and did God knows whatever horrendous things to.
Who's met Shara on Tinder? That's what she's been up to, hasn't she? She's been looking for a fucking story to write her own horror story.
There we go yet again, not sounding like he's being unbiased, is he? He's condemning her outright.
That's when Shara got fun fucking guilty during the Me Too movement.
Now, this is where it would have been in Paddy's interest to do his research first, not just rely on what Shadowboxer is telling him behind the scenes. Then he might not look like what he is, a complete and utter twonk. The Me Too movement was created in 2017. Shadowboxer's case happened in 2015, 2 years earlier. But we know that's come from Shadowboxer because he said that before. But the Me Too movement didn't start until 2 years later. Now I could continue and pull out more and more clips and discuss them, but I think I've got enough. That shows you well what Paddy's all about. He's not interested, which he keeps on trying to say. God knows how many times he says, she says, he says, trying to make out he's fair-minded. You hear where he's condemning her outright, no doubt about it. Why is he doing it? For no other reason than, look, this is a convicted criminal. This is a man that's bullied other people to get what he wants all his life. He couldn't care less if he's causing distress and alarm to a woman that has been violated, as long as he's getting money into his bank account. And he sees Shadowboxer as the way forward, because Shadowboxer advised him to do lives, have panels and all this, and you'll get more views, and that's exactly what has happened. So he sees Shadowboxer as one hell of a meal ticket, and that's all that matters to Paddy. He couldn't care less about, I've said this in the past, he couldn't care less about women victims, children victims. He couldn't, just as long as he's taking care of who he loves best, number one, and that's himself. And all they'll say is shame on some of the women, not all of them, but some of the women in that chat who were either agreeing with him or in some instances talking about the dogs and all this to avoid mentioning it or saying how disgusting it is what he was saying and doing. You know, shame on you. Sisterhood, hey? Sisterhood? I don't think so.